we're ready to go.
Okay. Good morning. My name is John Payne, and I'm the chairman of the Draft Bermuda Plan 2018 Tribunal, having been appointed by the minister. Also with me is Vanessa Turner and Jennifer Howard, who are members of the tribunal, also appointed by the minister, and they are presently attending remotely. Also present within this facility is Mendy Shaler, Tamsin Durham, and Larry Williams, who are all technical officers to the tribunal. This meeting is being held remotely because of the current health conditions that are prevailing, and the setup of this present facility is as instructed by the Department of Health. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say instructed, as advised by the Department of Health. Today we have two items on the agenda, and they were circulated and published in the official gazette on the 29th of July 2020. Any person who is listening, please be aware that others are also listening and can be heard, or sorry, cannot be heard, as no other persons other than the tribunal members and those within the objector and the department are able to participate in this deliberation. All material has been circulated, and therefore we are working virtually as of now. The first item on the agenda is FWD 0094-19, and it is a property at 2A Suffern Lane, St. George's. The owner of the property would like it to be rezoned to facilitate additional development on site, and the objector and counter-objector, the counter-objector is Bermuda Environmental and Sustainability Task Force. The objector is, on record, is Brick Verde Architectural Services. They have indicated that they would like to stand on their objection as presented in written form. The department is here, and they are standing on their objection. Is there any questions any tribunal members would like to ask? I do have a couple of questions. In the department's presentation, they talked about policy WDR1, which is supposed to protect and enhance woodland areas which are of ecological, aesthetical, and other functional importance. And I'd like a little bit of an explanation on that. Why does this particular piece of property meet that criteria?
Well, that was something that was a long time ago. And it's just something that you may look at aerials, or you may look at trees that we decide that this should be zoned woodland.
Should we speak up?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's something that was done some time ago. Possibly conservation services, DEP, consulting on that. So it's historic.
Excuse me, Mr.
Can you repeat her?
Mr. Chairman,
Not very clearly.
can you identify the technical department?
Yeah, the technical officer from the department is Matthew Trott.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, you were asking for clarification in relation to a particular policy that's referenced in the position paper. And I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch the answer.
Okay.
It was WDR1, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And his response is basically historical. It has been zoned, and he believes it's been like that for years, and basically it's being recommended by the Department of conservation services, or I can't remember what his new title is now. That piece of property is at a dead end. It has, at number two, there's a house. Going down the hill, there is 2A, and then then after that, after 2A, there are two or three other houses.
Yeah.
Across the road is the golf course.
Mhm.
So why should this piece, which is stuck in the middle of three houses, dead end street, no access to the public primarily, other than residents? Why should it not be
Well, I mean,
preserved?
you have various sizes of wood. Some are large tracts, some are small. And you wanna, the idea is that within residential areas, you'll have natural land that breaks up. That's the general thought about it. Yeah.
So you wouldn't consider the golf course on the other side of the road
I would.
as breaking up the.
I do. I do. I do.
Also in your report, you talk about the scenic value. What scenic value does it have?
Well, that's just the the uh, the natural beauty of trees and vegetation and things like that. Even though the trees there may not be the nicest trees, they can always be replanted. You could landscape it better. There's always the possibility for something like that to happen.
So if there's already an approval on that property
Yeah.
for two apartment or dwelling, I think it's two apartment dwelling.
Yes.
Given the woodland reserve that is on it, how would that impact the developer? The developer is saying that it's impacting his ability to develop his property effectively.
Right.
So why why is this essential that we keep it the way it is?
It's the department's position that uh, that once they build the development, then we'll look at where we can cut it away, different things will get rid of. But until that happens,
Mr. Chair, can I ask that you guys speak into the mic a bit more? I'm having a lot of trouble
Yeah,
hearing.
there's a mic. Okay.
I didn't catch anything of what Matthew just said.
Matthew, can you speak up a bit louder?
okay. Sorry. So it is the department's position
Mhm.
to allow development to be built, and then they will look at um, looking at removing the zoning, because people can put in applications for development and they may not ever happen. The Woodland Reserve hasn't prevented the owners from putting in an application for development, which they got approval for. They would have got a building permit. I'm not sure if they got the building permit, but they would have been able to do that, and they would have been able to build the house. So I think that it's reasonable that the department would, after the house gets built in the Woodland Reserve, that they probably would remove the Woodland Reserve or most of it or whatever, but they would try to retain it because that was what was existing previously.
But isn't the point that's being made by the objector that that approval that does exist is quite restrictive because of the zoning?
Um, well, if you the plans for the house was right in the middle of it. The Woodland Reserve covers pretty much the whole lot, and they were able to build the house that they wanted. Um, the the plan does allow for a dwelling with two units to be allowed on a conservation zone lot, which is what happened. Um, I don't know specifically how it's restrictive. You do have there are other policies that you have like site coverage. There's a certain amount of site coverage that goes with residential one, but she was able to build, get a house approved on that lot.
So your position, the department's position is that retroactively, after the development of the property, then, or in the development of the property, the woodland reserve restriction can be adjusted.
Yeah, if, yeah, we could look at that. But it hasn't been, it has not been developed.
Okay. Any other questions?
I think Vanessa may have been trying to ask one, but was on mute, but I'm not sure. Vanessa, you were on mute and you were talking. Did you have a Did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just noting I was having trouble hearing, but it's okay.
Do you have any more questions, Jennifer?
No, no, I'm good.
Vanessa?
Yeah, I'm not quite clear as to why the application would need to be submitted first as opposed to, so I'm thinking the application would be submitted, they go through the full process and then would have to go back through the application process a second time. I'm not quite clear why they would need to submit knowing that it might be rejected. Why would they go through that process?
I'm not sure, I'm not really, not understanding the question.
Okay. So my understanding from what you've said is that they should submit their application anyway, and there is a likelihood that the application would be rejected.
Well, they have planning approval. They have planning approval for that site.
There's planning approval for the site already,
Okay,
and, but the developer is saying that he cannot fulfill the full potential of the site, given the restrictions of the zone.
so that
That
goes
is,
beyond the application that has been submitted. They want to develop beyond that application.
yeah,
Okay,
yes.
I think what's happened is the planning application may have lapsed, so now they have to reapply. But if they got it before, I don't see why they can't get
understood.
approval.
Okay, thank you.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. The second item on the agenda is FWD 009619, which is located at 35 South Road Ward, and is to remove the, to reinstate the agricultural reserve zoning, which is already on the property. The objector has indicated that they wish to stand on which is best, and they wish to stand on their objections. And basically, they're saying that they do not see the need to remove the agricultural reserve on the site. This is a continuous band of protected land around numerous properties in the area, and suggesting that the ag land is of real value. That the approval is likely to be a precedent setting, encouraging development rather than the protection of critically important agricultural land. The department is stating that it's 0.79 acres of property, which is open space, and that according to the Bermuda Plan in 1992, it was zoned to tourism and open space reserve. And they are saying that the department is not supporting the objection as presented. See, this is where a technical officer should be able to present Have you read the material? Both of you looked at the,
Yeah.
do you have any questions from the material presented?
No, can we just get confirmation because the two commentaries kind of contest one another. Can we just get confirmation that it was rezoned in full or was it partial?
So my understanding is that in 2008, the property was zoned open space tourism with an agricultural reserve on top. And then in 2008 draft plan, they rezoned it to residential open space and the agricultural was adjusted. And it was adjusted based on that aerial, the aerial imagery, which shows that active area that has been farmed. That dates back some historical time. So the tourism was changed to residential 2, the open space was retained, and the agricultural reserve was slightly adjusted and reduced in size to reflect the historic area that has been farmed on ground.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Any questions?
Sorry, I just was wondering, was there somebody from Forward Planning not attending on this one, or are they just available if we have questions specifically, or I'm just kind of clarify?
Yeah, so the objector, who is best, they wanted to stand on their written submission. So in that instance, you wouldn't have a presentation from either the Department of Planning or the objector. But if you have questions of the department, I can go and I can bring them in and they can answer your questions.
Okay.
So are there any comments you would like to make?
I'm fine. No.
Not on my end either.
Okay. So those were the two items on the agenda. Item number 3, FWD 0222-19 has been deferred. The objector has had some personal family issues to address and was not able to prepare for it. So we have deferred it to allow her to deal with the family matters that she has to deal with. So those are the items for public presentation, and now we will go into discussion.